Your team shows you work, and it's good, but it's not great yet. You see 3 ways to make it better, and you're right about all 3. So you hold the work so you can dig deeper tonight. Every time you do this, it feels like you're protecting quality, but this is how you became the reason work stops when it never needed another pass. Fix this, and work goes out when it's actually ready, not when you're finished improving it, and you stop being the step everything waits on. So in the next few minutes, I'll cover why, just because you can improve something doesn't mean you should, the exact moment your input turns into a bottleneck, and what to do the next time you're about to hold work you can improve. Because right now, you never find out if those changes actually needed to happen before the work moved. Now, there's no shortage of advice on this, and you were right to ignore most of it. The first kind treats your standards as the problem. Lower your bar, stop chasing perfection. But when you do, the work gets worse. So you take it back, and you were right to. Your standards are a big part of why your customers stay. Then there's the advice that treats your reviews as a speed problem. Time box things, get someone else to review them, just quickly go through a checklist, and you were right to push back on those too. You know your clients and business in ways that a checklist doesn't, and that judgment is hard to transfer. The problem is, neither one of these asks the question that actually matters. Why did this work need another pass from you in the first place? It didn't. You're good at finding ways where it can improve and that's useful, but being able to improve something starts feeling like evidence that it isn't ready yet. Those aren't the same thing. Your judgment can tell you how to make something better, and you might be completely right about the improvement. What it can't tell you from your desk is if that improvement was actually needed before the work can move. Because once the work is ready, another pass just gives you refinement. Letting it move gives you new information. The improvement is sitting right in front of you, the information isn't. Will the client care? Will the process hold up? Will anyone even notice the part that you were about to spend your entire night fixing? Another pass might make the process cleaner, but it can't tell you where your process is actually going to break when your team uses it. So every time you hold ready work because it can be improved, you're choosing more refinement before you have the information to tell you whether that refinement was even necessary. And there's another cost when it's your team's work. When you change it before it goes out, what gets tested is partly yours. Your team made a call, but the results come back on your version, not theirs. So your team never gets clean feedback on if their judgment was already good enough. The more often this happens, the harder it is for your team to improve their judgment without you. It's like when I was building the first version of my founder program and I was working with my editor on some of the material. I kept doing the same thing. A lesson would come back finished, I'd watch it, and I'd immediately find new things to change. A section I could explain a little better, an edit that would be more engaging, a part that I could make more concise. And the annoying part was, each change was an actual improvement, not just something I was nitpicking. So I'd take something that was basically finished and I'd put it through another cycle. And then the next lesson would come back from my editor and I'd do the exact same thing. Each time my instinct was the same. I know how to make this better, so why wouldn't I improve it before a client sees it? But eventually, I realized what was really going on. There wasn't actually anything wrong with the lessons, I could just see ways to improve them, and I was treating those as the same thing. So I stopped sending lessons back to my editor just because I could see another improvement, and despite my urge to hold things up, I just got them out there. And once clients were actually going through the program, I could see that some of the things that I thought needed to be improved, like how I explained spotting where you're the bottleneck, pacing, and even visuals, weren't actually stopping clients from understanding the material or getting results. Which finally drove things home for me. I had been right that I could make the lessons better, but they were already ready. And if I had kept them for another pass, all I would have gotten was more refinement. But by letting clients actually go through the program, I got new information another refinement couldn't give me. The version I had was already doing its job. So now, when I see something I can improve, I don't ask myself if it can be better. I ask myself, is this actually not ready, or can I just see how to improve it? That's the distinction you need to make before taking another pass at your team's work. You don't need to lower your standards, you need to move them downstream. Keep your bar, change when you apply it, and here's how to do that in 3 steps. First, separate not ready from improvable. The moment work hits your desk, stop and ask yourself, am I holding this because it's not ready or because I see how to improve it? Those are different things. If it's genuinely not ready, fix it. But if it's ready and you just see more upside, let it move. Being able to improve something is no longer enough reason to hold it. And if you genuinely can't tell which it is, that's where step 2 comes in. Assess the risk and reversibility. Take your team's work and ask yourself 2 questions. What's the downside if this is wrong, and how reversible is this? An internal process that has a small flaw? That's a cheap fix. Let reality tell you where it breaks. A 7-figure proposal that has the economics wrong? Client trust is hard to fix once it's broken, so that one's not ready. When it's cheap to be wrong, let it move. But when it isn't, that's a real reason to hold it. Now, once the work goes out, you get something you couldn't get from another pass, an actual outcome. And that's where step 3 comes in. Go back and review what happened. Look at the thing you almost held your work for, and ask yourself, based on the outcome, did this actually need to be improved before the work went out? That's how you keep your standards high without requiring every possible improvement up front. And if this was your team's work, review it with them too. Now they get to learn from what actually happened, not just from the changes you made before there was an outcome. That's what it means to move your standards downstream. You're not lowering them, you're using the outcome to decide whether that improvement needs to become part of the bar next time. Skip this step and you didn't move the standard, you dropped it. Now it's your turn. Take the next piece of work you're about to hold up, stop and ask yourself, is this actually not ready, or do I just see how to improve it? If it's the second, just let it move. And if letting it move feels hard and you keep ending up as the step everything waits on, that's a pattern I work on with founders, and I made a free training on it. Links in the description if you want to check it out. And for more content like this, just hit subscribe. All right, I'll see you in the next one.